Alright, that'll immediately give us some sound. I apologize, gang. The microphone situation was supposed to be robust enough to keep up with some of the changes I did, and that didn't happen. So you watch me talk to myself for seconds at a time there, but now you can listen to me talk on this little ditty right here. So yeah, unfortunately, the microphone was set up. I'm looking at it and the camera at the same time, and the microphone just decided, not today, Brian. Not today. All those wonderful things you just said to those people, they heard none of them. Because not today. But anyway, the things you missed is really not a whole lot of anything. I said that I won't be here with you all long because I have a call that I need to get on here shortly after. And I'm really only doing this live stream, one, to check in with all of you. And I experienced something today that I wanted to give you all some encouragement with really quickly. And that's what we're here to do. So let's see what the comments. I'm sure everybody's screaming and hollering about how much I suck. That's awesome. Yeah, everyone's saying, you're muted, you're muted. Yeah, I can see your comments. Now, unfortunately, I'm not muted this time. Well, you're not wrong, I am muted. But the actual problem is my shit just decided not to work. Like, not today. We're checking out today. That's not 100% fair to the technology makers. Half of my technology worked. The camera part worked. The microphone just decided we're not coming to the party. And that's it's on me. I changed some of the configuration in here for this particular setup, and the system just didn't. Whatever reason, the things that I thought were inherent in me setting that up, it just wasn't. There was another switch I had to hit. So here we is. Let's see, Clem says, woohoo, we can hear you. I mean, haven't you guys gotten used to me being muted for at least 12% of the show at this point? I mean, that's kind of a thing. The absent-minded professor. Alright. But anyway, the thing I wanted to encourage everybody with was, you know, today I wasn't at 100%. You know, I'm not sick, not ill or anything like that. I wasn't feeling it today. I woke up a little bit more fatigued, a little bit more nauseous than I am sometimes. I don't always deal with nausea, but sometimes I do. And sometimes it's hard to parse between like hunger pangs and nausea, because with the fasting that I do, that sometimes is a thing. So I wake up, I'm not feeling really 100%, but I got things I've got to do today. I've got a really important call that I've been looking forward to all weekend that's happening today, a call that I'm preparing for tomorrow, and then I've got shows with y'all. And then I've got, like, for the things that are going on with game therapy, for example, like I've been sitting down to actually map out, okay, let's not just wing this. If we're going to do this, let's do it properly. So sitting down to figure out, okay, where do we need to take it? What do the themes need to be for the show? How do we, you know, if our goal is to essentially help professionals, you know, and elite people and people with the potential to become elite performers, how do we get them in a space where they're constantly using their brain and their bodies in ways that are getting them to their goals faster, right? And it's like, okay, if I want to do that, then we need to be a little bit more deliberate about what we're producing. So those are some of the things. Like I'm doing a ton of research today, as a lot of what I'm physically doing is looking into, okay, what are, for example, the health challenges? I had to look into, okay, what are the top health challenges that are bothering most people? Okay, that's too broad an audience for the things that I do, because I don't really make content for the every man. Like everything's kind of around, let's make stuff for average Joes. Average Joes are fucking boring to me, and I don't want to hang out with that guy. Like, does that make me evil? I don't know. Like, and I don't really think, and I say that thinking, you got to understand my philosophy when it comes to humans is I think we're all gods. I don't think there are any average fucking Joes. I think average Joe is a role people take on in their life because they're too scared to get after the shit they really want. None of you are average Joes, but most people decide to become that because I think they're taught to be cowards, right? And if I'm going to change that, it's about being deliberate. So it's like, okay, what are the health challenges that are affecting most people? Okay, let's make that more granular. What are the health challenges? You know, the people who I talk to are squarely in that kind of 30 to 50-year-old range, because I'm talking to professionals. Like, I'm not usually talking to college kids who are trying to figure it out, even though my message, I think, does help those people, and I'm glad for that. It's for the person who's been getting after it, but wants to do it at a higher level, you know, and wants, not necessarily like ambition, I got to win a Super Bowl or I have to do some grandiose thing, but no, I want to get the most out of what I am capable of doing. Like, even if you're a person who, like I always say, one of the groups of people I respect the most, and I think people think I'm joking or being sarcastic because I joke a lot, but I'm being dead serious, is people that haul trash. Because, like, these are people who have signed up to be underpaid to take the shit away from your house that you don't want there. You know, how does the person in that world optimize the things they're capable of and contribute to society in a way that's valuable to them and valuable to the people that they're contributing to? You know, whether that person becomes a billionaire or starts the next Tesla, I don't give a shit. I just want that human to want to be the best at something they are capable of doing. That's who this is for. So it's like, okay, if I'm looking at health challenges, I need to be focused on health challenges for over 30 professionals, right? Over 30 entrepreneurs, over 30 successful artists. Right, not just general, what are the health problems? Because the health problems, especially when you start dealing with successful people, some of those health challenges change, right? Like hypertension, depression, those are always going to be the two biggest things that kill everybody, because think about those two disorders and the root causes of them. Humanity causes hypertension and depression, right? But you start looking at things like veterans, one of the big things that we deal with, suicide. Why though? Why is it pronounced there? Well, when you look at one of the challenges that people face when they're committing suicide, there's a loss of hope that things can change to something that's agreeable to me wanting to continue to exist. And veterans, more than any type of person I know on the planet, because we're conditioned to be this way, not just our personalities, we're driven by purpose. So if you take a man or a woman or any person's purpose away, why do they still get up every day? And when you've conditioned them that their purpose is fighting for their team, making sure we accomplish missions and never fail, and actually pushing through our weaknesses and our insecurities and our bullshit to get to a place that's greater than all of us combined. How do I give that to somebody who leaves that to go work at the flower shop? There's nothing wrong with working at the flower shop. My question isn't working at the flower shop sucks and being a soldier is awesome, so how do I create an awesome life for a soldier who now works at a flower shop? Flower shop could be an awesome job. The point is, there's a good chance that the person working at the flower shop is not going to encounter the challenges and the things that they've had to face to stay alive that made them feel fulfilled and made them feel valuable. So how do they start to assess value different? See, these are the things that you have to think through when you're helping people who are struggling in those ways. It's not that a veteran can't go work at a flower shop, you know, this ridiculous hypothetical example that I created. It's that how do you help that person see purpose in things that aren't life and death? So that's what I've been working on. And because there are people I care about who I want to be able to have healthy lives, I got to get up even when I don't feel good. But I worked out today. Now, the thing I'm going to demonstrate for all of you, I've already done this, but one of the reasons why we're not taking care of our health game is because we're over-analyzing or over-assessing just how much effort we have to put in to get healthy. Especially when it comes, in this part of health, I'm talking about your physical activity, right? So we're not talking about diet and rest. We're talking specifically about you moving your big ass, all right? And if you have a big ass and you thought that was fat shaming, good. Shame actually makes you change. It's a form of love when it's done by a person who's critiquing you because they love you and want you to grow and be healthy and not die. So shame is your friend, friends. All right, so the bottom line is literally sitting at my desk looking at however many tabs I have open of research on things like I'm doing some research right now on how millennials perceive wealth. Okay. I'm doing some research on one of my favorite coaches, Brian Billick, or a coach that I have enjoyed, you know, the things they've done. I don't know a lot about him outside of coaching. But looking up things about Brian Billick, because I have a talk that I'm going to be doing about coaching and why some of the best, most successful coaches were never great players at the thing they coach. Brian Billick is one of them. So was John Madden. You know, that guy we just celebrated who passed away as the best coach who ever coached anything ever? Never played a down of football in the professional world. Got hurt during training camp. Never played. Became a coach immediately. How did a guy become the most prolific coach that's ever lived? Never played a down of football. We're going to talk about that. Right? Maybe what makes a great coach is experience. Right? Certainly, there's other things. And the other things are, what we'll talk about on the talk is the coach's job is different from the players. So the coach has to be good at different things. So part of the underlying advice there is a lot of you, especially the younger folks who follow me, are looking for mentors out in the world. I will tell you, stop falling for marketing and fame bullshit. People trying to establish authority and tell you they're the best thing that ever happened to whatever it is they do. They're not. Nobody is. There are no superheroes. Right? There are people who are committed and people who aren't committed. There's leaders and followers. There are no superheroes. Right? So the point there is, yeah, you want someone who's experienced, but you also want someone who is experienced in helping you in the things that are actually keeping you from where you want to be, which are usually not your tactics. It's usually the shit up here. That's why Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson. When you got a guy that can help you deal with the shit up here, the real reason you're not in all the places you want to be, then you win. You know, and some of the places you want to be aren't just up here. Some of it is time. Some of it is you just have to be consistent long enough. You know? All right. Let's get another set in. And so, like, I'm showing you here, literally, while I'm talking to you guys, while I'm doing research, I've just knocked out, I think, no less than 3 sets of chest. Now, I'm not going through the full range of motion because I've already done this workout. What I'm trying to demonstrate for you, this is actually a harder weight, a harder resistance. But, literally sitting here while I was talking to you, I've gotten 3 sets done. And if I'm focused, and I'm smart about the way I do it, and I'm diligent, I could probably get 12 of those sets knocked out while working, 45 minutes. And get a little bit of work done. Obviously, the focus here, you're going to lose focus on one of the things, right? So if I'm researching and working out, I'm going to be doing both of those things less awesomely than if I just focused on the workout. But by integrating the workout, I remove the tedium that comes from doing research and that comes from working out. They're both very tedious activities, but you can make them fun by gamifying them the way I just showed you. So like one of the things I would do is I'd finish a set if I was doing, let's say strength training versus bodybuilding, where I can take longer rest between my sets. I'd totally do a set like that, and I'd come over here and say, okay, how much, like, how would I actually gamify that? Let me pull it up. So I've got my notes that I'm taking here. All the research turns into ideas for shows, ideas for things I want to talk to you guys about. While I'm taking notes here, it's like, okay, how many more dope-ass ideas for shows can I get in the 2-minute break that I get before my next set? Boom, go. All right, Brian Billick. Someone come over here. What's the data I was trying to get on Brian Billick? I specifically wanted to know how many years he played in the NFL before he became a championship-winning coach. The answer is 0. I was like, all right, that fits my point. You got a championship-winning coach who never played it down. And I can name more than one. You know, we just talked about Madden. So that's what I mean. You can gamify the things you're messing with that are tedious and the things that are, you know, your workouts. Now, I enjoy working out, so I don't really need that gamification. But if you're just starting out building the momentum of your workouts, you're not at the place yet where working out is something you enjoy. And believe me, if you keep going and you keep doing the stuff I'm showing you guys, and ladies and others, if you keep doing the things I'm showing y'all, you'll eventually enjoy this. And eventually you'll build a minor addiction, like a healthy addiction, I'll call it, where when you miss days, it hurts. You're like, like you will literally find yourself at a hotel like, fuck it, I gotta do my band workout because, and you'll do it. And it'll feel great. But the thing that no fitness trainer or fucking guru on the internet selling you bullshit is gonna tell you is you won't get there if you don't give me at least 60 days of your life. Now, it's less for some people. Obviously, we're talking about forming habits. I've seen it happen as fast as 9 days. I've seen it take as long as, I don't know how long I've seen it take, but the average is 66 days. So the problem is you didn't show up for 66 days to do something consistently and you were expecting results. Don't work that way. You know, I tell all my people that are like, B, I'm thinking about starting a business. Do you think it's a good idea? And my answer is always, when is the best time to plant a tree? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago if you wanted to have the fruit from it today. But since you didn't plant a tree 20 years ago, today's the next best day. Get busy. And the point is, yeah, it's always more risky not to start a business than it is to start a business. If you don't know what I mean by that, read some of what Art Bushnell wrote down. That dude was onto some shit. And it's because he studied a lot of the same philosophies that all successful people, all the shit we all read, he read it too. He just articulated it in ways that were really profound. If you don't know who Art Bushnell is, he is the founder of Atari. And he's the reason why you mofos are still playing video games to this day, because of one idea that brother had. And now you can argue that wasn't the only catalyst that led to the gaming industry being what it is, but if he didn't do what he did very specifically to make Atari work, ain't no game therapy going on right now. I don't think gaming would have been as prolific, because it took someone being crazy enough to say, hey, let's take this thing that the market hates, let's just market it a little bit better, make the product dope, and then everyone will be buying it. The whole market hated fucking video games. They hated them. And this fool shows up like, let's make video games. That would be like saying, hey, let's make chitlins mandatory food for everybody in America. And it's like, and all the black people be like, all right, I've had to eat that shit before, but it's going to be a lot of mad whites. But that's the thing. Oh, man. It is riskier for you not to start your business, because every day you don't start it, you lose the potential benefits. And every day that you start and fail, what did you lose? A little bit of time. You were going to lose that anyway. You're still dying. What did you lose by starting? All the guys that are now doing podcasts and YouTube shows that hang around me, because they hung around me, and it's like, well, why aren't you doing your show? Oh, exactly. Get busy. Right? And while you're at it, knock out another set of these. I've already done mine, so I'm not trying to overdo it. But that is what I wanted to show you, is that even when you're not feeling your best, you can still show up and do your shit. And the reason why I'm able to show up and do my shit is not because I'm disciplined, not because I'm motivated, or any of that other internet horse shit I keep hearing that makes me want to club baby seals in the face. The reason why I get up and do it is because I'm obsessed with the outcome that I want. Period. Yes, I said that on beat so that it would hit in your brain. There's music on the show for a reason. Let's see what the commenters are saying. Yeah, Clem, I would sum up your statement is we're all conditioned to be cowards. That's why you have people still preaching, go to college and get a safe job. That is the stupidest shit. When they told me that as a kid, I was like, well, that's dumb, Mom. Why would you go into debt just to get a job to pay off that? Well, the job you get's better. Yeah, but if I worked at Dairy Queen, I'd make more money because I'd have no debt. And then I could build some shit. Like, we have the internet now, Mom. It's not the Great fucking Depression where nobody can build shit. You got to go out in the street and suck dicks or steal people's flowers and resell them to them. We don't live in that world anymore. You know, like, we're conditioned. And what I mean by coward, let me define that word, because I think people are going to be like, you think we're all cowards? Yes, but it's not your fault. What I mean is you're conditioned to play life defensively, like trying to hedge your bets to keep you safe, when the very thing that would make you happy and successful is embracing your danger wisely. Obviously, you're not going to run out stupidly into danger. But your whole life, from school to if you went to college, all of the things that have been training you, if you didn't play sports, one of the places where meritocracy still exists, if you didn't play sports growing up, I think you're fucked. Because you grew up in a system where they told you everything's fair, or at least it's supposed to be fair, and if it's not fair, don't worry, we'll fuck everybody that's successful so we can make it fair for the people who suck. And it's like, okay. And that's what you've been, and so it's the actions you're supposed to take in life are supposed to make life safe, like going to college so you can get a better job. It's like, well, wait a minute, what better job? Like, that college came with, you're now in $100,000 of debt that you're going to work for the rest of your life to pay off because of the interest in the, and no job's ever going to pay you what you're worth, so what am I paying for all this education for? And then people will assume, oh, he's against college. No, I am for tools doing what they're designed to do. You going and getting a sociology degree is just going to give you a lot of debt to have a job at fucking Dairy Queen, which is what you were going to do anyway, without the degree. You know, so that's what I'm talking about. Let's see, Sean Mackey, says, I got out about 9 years ago, and when I first got out, I was so lost trying to find purpose. Took a few months to refocus and train my mind to keep my drive right. And purpose for us has to become about, okay, my purpose, what's today? Today's 2022. So my purpose about 19 years ago was every decision you make, Brian, could get somebody killed or make sure they get alive home to their wife and family. What are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to do everything in my God-given power to make sure I make no mistakes and keep my team square. Like, that is a tremendous burden that most people, I think, unfortunately never get to bear. I think it's a privilege to bear that burden, and to have men that allowed me to bear that burden is an honor. When I left that, now what's my purpose? Make my billionaire more money? Okay. That doesn't sound as awesome as every decision I make today may or may not get me or somebody else killed. So where do I find my personal, selfish, narcissistic, let's admit what it is, sense of purpose in something that's not even asking me to challenge myself compared to where I came from? Well, you have to start to find purpose, and you have to, the definition of purpose has to not be in the grandiosity of the problem. And for soldiers, unfortunately, we are wired to tackle problems that are harder than anybody could. Like, there's a badge of honor in taking on something that seems impossible and then showing the world that it's possible. At its core, that is what being a soldier is like. Is finding impossible challenges and then finding ways to make them possible with a team. Sometimes that's fighting, but a lot of times it's things like going into impoverished areas and helping them build homes. You know, I've done that as a military guy. So it's not just all war fighting. Some of it is not just peacekeeping, it's community building, right? So you have, like, I had to start finding purpose in, hey, my 3-year-old smiled at me today. That's huge. Now, in the grand scheme of a person who's been conditioned and trained and programmed to find my value in fighting a war and overcoming death, now I have to bring it back to, well, now how do I find value in a hug from a 3-year-old? Right? To a person who's never had to face death every day, to them that's easy. Well, it's awesome. It's a hug. Like, yeah, I got it. I'm working on trying to enjoy hugs again. Because you just gave me the highest dose of cocaine and heroin that you could possibly give a human being, and then you sent me home and said, hey, now just be normal. Oh, without the heroin and the fucking crack cocktail called war you just gave me, I'm supposed to come home and be normal? How the fuck does that work? With a lot of help. You know, and our society doesn't have the infrastructure built in to help soldiers because we don't give a fuck about soldiers. Period. We give lip service to them. You're heroes. We do parades. But God damn it, we built people into killing machines knowing that's what we were doing, and then built no off switch. Built no programs for soldiers to come home and deprogram from that way of thinking. Not just so, and it's not like you're afraid they're going to go into society and start being killers. That's not what they're conditioned to be, protectors, not killers anyway. It's that now how do you get them to find a sense of belonging and purpose in a place where the stakes aren't that high anymore? You know? And it's now you're asking this soldier to be scared and nervous because the boss is angry because the marketing report went out with a semicolon instead of a period, when the fucking thing he had to deal with last week before he took that job was watching one of his friends die that he couldn't save. Just help me understand how he's supposed to have all this emotion that you have about the boss being angry. Empathy, right? So it's about finding purpose in things that are seemingly, by the way you measure them, less magnitude and smaller. But that hug from a 3-year-old nowadays is more powerful than anything. You know, my son smiling at me and giving me a hug is more powerful than anything I experienced on the battlefield. But the mind has to be conditioned to accept that. And that's what we don't have in our society, is a system to help people get there. That's why I'm here. You know, and it's not just for soldiers, it's for people who have been through hard shit, period. You don't have to go to a war to have seen hell. I saw hell long before I got to war. And it sucked both times. Alright, what else we got? What time is it? I need to keep an eye on the time because I gotta get out of here. He says, be normal and restart having feelings. Exactly. Like, come hang out with people who are socially 20 years younger than you, even though they're the same age as you. Their social interest, like, did you watch Game of Thrones? No, I just buried one of my friends last week. I don't give a fucking fuck about Game of Goddamn Thrones. Get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that you don't care about Game of Thrones. It's not that you don't have interest. It's just like, hey, we've tasted a different area of life that made us different. Help, like, be patient with us while we're trying to acquiesce to this fucking horseshit fairyland that you human civilians created. That's nothing like the real world. Like, you want me to come to work and be nice to people I would never want to be around? Like, why would you create that type of environment? And then my money is dependent upon getting along with this person that I would rather choke the fuck out of. How about you build a company that better communicates its values so that people like me will avoid your company like the goddamn plague when we realize that your core values are fun, making people feel good. Get the fuck out of here. Booyaka. Woo! Alright, let's do another one for the crowd. Let's do another one for the crowd. How's everybody doing today? Since this is a check-in on your, we're focused on the health pillar today. So I've got kind of 3 phases of 2022 I'm working with my Spartans. And my Spartans are just, you know, people that I train with, people that I help kill it. And we're focused on the first quarter of the year. We're focused on healing. Right, so that's mental, emotional, and social. Or I'm sorry, that's physical, mental, and social. And then obviously mental includes emotional. That would include the spiritual stuff. People are like, what about spiritual healing? It's included. Hang in there. I'd simplify it into 3 things instead of 7 because you can group the other. Like spiritual healing, you can totally put under mental because you can put it under physical and mental. Not because it's not a separate thing, but your perception of your spiritual health is going to be perceived through your physical and mental bodies. So it doesn't need a separate category for this discussion. So, get your workouts in. So, having said that, who worked out today? Ooh, is that a... I think we're okay. Because these things do break over time if you use them. And this one, I think this one's okay. I've already broken the smallest one. I need to replace that. It's like the Hulk is too strong for this band. It's like, damn, how does a dude break a resistance band? This guy does. I didn't know when you bought them that you could break them. You can. I figured they were made with some type of polymer from Neptune and shit that never breaks. Nope, there's no Neptune polymer in these. They still break. Clem says, I told my friend he is more of a brother than a friend, and I let him know how much I love him. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Sean says, I'm up top. I had an interview to move up in the company. I'm in, and I believe I nailed it. Awesome, Sean. What do you do, Sean? What type of company do you work in, if I may ask? And if I may not ask, just tell me. I will shut up. Ryan says, I'm exhausted. Word. Zach Bundy says, I worked out. My man, what's up, Spartan? Good to see you, homie. Ryan says, but I'm pretty sure I won my hearing today. Cool. So you don't find out at the hearing that you won? Like there's a deliberation period where they have to culminate for 17 days or whatever? Tristan says, I didn't work out today, but I did last night. Okay, cool. Day's still young, baby. Yeah, big high fives to Sean moving up in his company, man. I'm encouraged to hear what he's up to, what he's building. Ursula says, I did work out today. Cool. All right. Ryan says, no. Ah, that's too bad, man. I'm not good at waiting. I'm not good at waiting at things I know are supposed to be. That's a better way to say it. Like, I can be patient, but when I know something's supposed to be, it's like, come on, man, can we get to the done part so I can move on to the next thing? Sean's an insurance adjuster, and you travel the country chasing the big storms. Okay. Rock on. Go get that money, man. Dang, you're waiting on money. Well, I guess December. It's what? We're at the end of January. A month. I mean, you're talking about bureaucratic processes, so I'm certainly not surprised that you're dealing with that. Oh, Clem's actually doing a band workout. That's the first time. Like Clem was talking about, I did 20 of. So I was like, what is Clem talking about? But he just said he's doing a band workout. Now I understand. You didn't think the bands would be that tough? Yeah, no, man. I had a lot of friends tell me that bands were the truth. And, you know, guys I've bodybuilded with. So it's like, all right. Oh, there is a cut in my band here. This one will be broken. Yep, that's the beginnings of the band breaking. It'll hang out for a little while. But we're going to have to replace it. Oh, well. It's weird. I've actually broken one of these at the gym doing a leg workout. Actually, it wasn't during chest day. I think the one I broke that's mine, I think I broke either during back day. I was doing the kind of lateral row thing and it snapped. I think that's how it did it. Sean says, can you drop your Discord link so I can get in there as well? Thank you for putting good into the world. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Here you go. I'll put it on screen for you. Oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. Hang in there. You guys can also see what's on my YouTube screen over here. Mostly football. That's what I've been consuming most of this past weekend. It's just football, football, football. But I tell you, there's these little football documentaries that I watch. Let me show you. These things right here, there's sometimes better teaching in this than the books I read. That's one of my little best kept secrets, why I watch so many documentaries. They're often better at books. Like I just, like literally today, watching, I'll show you the show I was watching. Because this is where you'll think I'm weird, right? It's like, wait, what? This show right here, I just learned from that, is this the one? Aaron Rodgers tells, yes, this one. I watched part of this show today that's playing on screen right now, top left-hand corner. I learned one mental habit from Aaron Rodgers that I had not been focusing on. Like I knew about it. I knew it was a discipline that you're supposed to have, but it's something that I had gotten away from in more recent months. It's like, ooh, Aaron just reminded me that's a huge component to a lot of the things I'm doing. Like, because I'm at a space right now where a lot of these dreams that I've had for a long time in my life they're coming to pass. Like I got the lady, you know. I just got an opportunity that I've wanted since I was like maybe 18 years old. Finally, it's come up once before in my life and I couldn't take advantage of it because of my career. And now I have the opportunity now to really impact lives. And in fact, my brain coach / my doctor was telling me, she was like, I think that's going to be really good for you because that's the human you're really, really designed to help. Is that exact type of driven human being who's going to put themselves through the gauntlet to actually be good at something. I was like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So like for me, there's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of gratitude looking back over all these things that have happened to me that led me to get to these places, good or bad, and being grateful. But then also being grateful for where I'm at in the journey and stopping and being present. And that was something Aaron talked about. He didn't talk long about it, but he reminded me. It was like, oh, that is a mental practice. And I did it with my wife while I was working out. I called her as I was starting my workout. I was like, hey, you and I haven't really connected today because we were ships passing in the night. I was coming to bed early in the morning from having been up late doing stuff, and you got up early to get the kids. So we kind of missed each other. You know, I was just checking in, and then we did kind of the mental exercise. And I learned, like, just watch, and I didn't watch it long. I didn't even watch the whole 10 minutes. It was maybe 2 minutes of what they were saying. I was like, I got to get better at that. That's one of my disciplines that I've let slip. And and I told my wife, I said, this is one of the disciplines that makes us, you know, this takes us from billionaires to trillionaires. If we get practiced at this and stop and be as diligent at it as we should be. So that's a little secret to you. Like a lot of this stuff that pops up on the screen, I don't know what this, I've never actually seen this section on YouTube. Let's discover this together. This is called New to You. This is, I guess, YouTube trying to say, hey, because you watch a lot of other stuff, you'll probably dig this. So YouTube is aware that based on what I'm watching right now on YouTube that I like, because you're hearing the music that's playing, that's on YouTube. So they're showing me here's two Zen music things that you could consume. Okay, here's Pro Jared. He and I did he and I had a dueling video where we both had the exact opposite opinion of a game back in the day. Now, his video did to the tune of 1 million or 2 million views. Mine did somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000. But my video was 5 years late to the party, so he had a bit of a head start. But it was his video actually that I think caused my video to be so popular. Because his video shit all over this video game that is, I'll show you, arguably my favorite video game of all time. Or one of my, at least my favorite role-playing game of all time. And that is the wonderful Two Worlds. So, there's my plastic copy of the special edition. I have like 6 copies of this special edition that all cost like $2. I can't wait till I buy all of them, and then every copy of this is worth $70. Be sitting on a nice little asset once that happens. Anyway, his review says this game is the worst thing that's ever happened. They should be ashamed of making it, blah, 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 blah. The stuff typical nerds younger than me say. I said, this is one of the best games I ever played. I don't know what the nerds are talking about. Now, I will give the nerds in my review, I'll give you, yeah, the frame rate sucks. Guys, we didn't have frame rates when I was a kid. Get the fuck out of here with your elitist bullshit. Secondly, yeah, the story sucks. I grew up playing Bruce Lee. I made up my own fucking stories for these games because just like fucking action figures, which is what video games are, it's new age action figures, we made up the stories. We weren't lazy like this generation of kids that have to be told fucking stories. We made the stories with snake eyes. Now the stories are told for you, you lazy fucks. This is the best game that's ever been made. My review said something along those lines. It said none of that. But the review said this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I literally got comments. I got comments from people asking, are you joking? Like, not trying to hate on you, just for real. I'm about to buy this because it's $2 on Steam. Are you being funny, or do you actually love this game? I was like, I actually love it. I don't understand modern gamers. I don't know why people hate this game. And the only thing I keep hearing is the frame rate and the story sucks. It's like, make up your own story, you lazy bitch. And yeah, the frame rate sucks. I got you. No argument. But have you never played one of your favorite video games from childhood that didn't have a fantastic frame rate? And the game you're comparing it to crashes all the goddamn time? In the middle of playing it, you get stuck in the terrain and now you're fucked because you didn't save in the last 4 hours? Like, what are we talking about? And so my review dealt with that. Next thing you know, I got 100,000 views off of disagreeing with Jared. And I didn't disagree with him. In fact, I didn't know his review existed until after mine blew up, and then his review started getting recommended to me. I don't know why they picked Hidelight. I'm guessing because I've watched Angry Video Game Nerds Hidelight comedy several times. Lewis and Clark explores the new frontier. Music. I don't know why Scott the Woz is in my feed. I guess because I watch Jason. What's his TV name? I can't keep up with all the silly TV names. Jason, damn it. Metal Jesus. Metal Jesus. Yep, I have no idea who Nintendo Drew is. I'm sure he's awesome. The gaming historian, I've heard of him. Xbox finally speaks out. Yeah, YouTube is struggling to recommend shit to me. I wouldn't watch. Okay, here's something I actually would watch if it wasn't a pirate channel, YouTube. And this is a pirate channel. YouTube, how do pirate channels make it into your suggestions? Fuck out of here. You're the worst. I pay for this service, you pieces of shit. Alright, anyway. Back to talking to real people. That's always more fun than dealing with AI. And then I gotta get up out of here. And Ryan, thanks for putting the Discord link in there, bro. Zach says, I just recently hired a vet who is a great guy, but he struggles with PTSD, and I want to be able to communicate with him in the most effective way possible. Okay. I got you. So you're already a great listener, Zach. That's important. You know, vets are some of the easiest people to work with, you know, barring like severe mental challenges where their behavior is being influenced by, you know, issues that they're having mentally or emotionally. Like if they're mostly, you know, functional, vets are really easy to work with. It's tell them why we're doing what we're doing and why are we doing this. Got it. Okay, the outcome we want is this, and these are the things I need you to do them. If you start every conversation like that with a veteran, you'll never have any issues. Unless you say, the reason why we're doing this is we want to start a company that goes around California and clubs baby seals in the face. It's like, well, okay, I don't think I agree with that, so I'm going to walk. But working with vets is really easy. It's give them a sense of purpose, make sure they understand their place in the purpose and what the demanded outcomes are. That's all they need. Yeah. And because a lot of jobs I have seen and either helped, consulted, or worked at myself, the leadership suck at doing that. They suck at providing a clear vision. A lot of times too, because when businesses get really, really big, a lot of their organizations are horseshit. Like they are organizations that are often started to solve a problem as the company's growing that become unnecessary as the company gets past that problem. And then you got all these people. It's like, what are they doing here? And then sometimes you're creating work for people. I've seen it. I've seen work literally get created for people because it's like, well, we got these people here. You got to give them something to do. Like, how about let them go home and find another job where they can contribute their time to something that matters, not this bullshit you made up. So that can be tough, right? Like veterans, more than anything that I know, will want to have a sense of purpose that they agree with, and that could be tough. You know, that could be really tough. But as long as you're able to communicate and just listen and be clear and concise when you're giving guidance and expectations and be fair, you will probably not have any issues. You know, it's like I tell employers, I say veterans are the best hires you can hire except in one category. It's if you suck at running a company, don't hire a veteran, because they'll come in and try to actually help you fix the fucking company. But if you're an egotistical coward who likes the company the way it is and you're just kind of maintaining the status quo, you're going to hate having a veteran on your team, because they're going to see the problems immediately and try to improve. And you're just trying to keep the lights on and that's what I find with most humans. And that's why they're frustrating, is they kind of just want to get to good. Very few people want to get great at shit. And it's like, I don't need you to be great at being the president, but like, if you're a video editor and you tell me you're a video editor, be fucking great at that. Don't tell me you're a video editor and then show me your videos and I can edit them better than you. Now, if you're on your path and you're developing your skill, then you don't have to listen to a word I just said. Keep growing. But like, damn, a lot of places just want to be alright. They don't want to be great. And I don't think, at least not most of the veterans I know. I don't know most of them. So understand that the veterans I know is a small subset of a group of people. And I only know really combatants, because that was my world. I didn't work in the administrative parts of the military or the logistics parts. I worked in the combat arms. That's what I come from, you know, which is a much smaller portion of the military than the rest of it. So even in my military experience is very, very sheltered, because I don't have bigger administrative shit, you know, outside of the administrative things that go on in running a combat unit. So yeah, a couple things just to remember if you're trying to hire veterans. You can't hire better workers, but if your company sells the bullshit that I see that people try to get me to sell on Instagram and TikTok, don't ever hire a veteran, because they'll want you dead within a week because your company is bullshit, and they're going to know that within 5 minutes of being there. Now, if you're trying to start a company, let's say to fix the energy problems, we have this dependence that we have on fossil fuels. If you think that's a problem, you could probably find a whole lot of vets that'll help you build that. You know, or like one of the companies I'm building right now, which is part of the reason why you heard me talking about meeting with investors. One of the companies that I'm building is a program that helps veterans retire or leave. You don't have to retire. Basically, the program finds you when you're ready to leave the military, and it helps you transition into running your own agricultural operations. right? Or a farm, if that's what you want to call it. But it wouldn't be a farm in the classical sense that people think they're going to have this giant piece of land and they've got cows and fucking chickens everywhere. It's not that. Like, you might have cranberries and tiny homes, you know what I mean? And it'll depend on, you know, where you are, the markets, those types of things. But basically giving veterans the opportunity to leave the military, own their land, use their land to make it a productive asset, and then live off the shit they produce. That is a company I'm working to build right now. It's why you also don't see me doing much like social media shit. Because why? I'm building real shit. I don't need to talk to fucking people who don't want to be winners about why they're not winning. Like, I don't need to have millions of views where only 5,000 of those people are actually going to take this shit I say seriously. Fuck all that. I'll go build shit. Trust me, the people who it's for, they are going to find out about it. You know, and plus we can do paid marketing to get to exactly the humans we want to reach. And I like, once I figured out that I could do paid social media, I grossly considered never making a piece of organic content again. Like, dude, if I can pay to get the 80 people I know are the only people who care about this video, and I did that on Facebook all the time. Like, most of my content on Facebook was not the, like, I have viral stuff that went viral on organic reach, but some of my stuff that did well on Facebook was because I was paying to make sure it got in front of the right audience. So yeah, if you want to hire vets, do shit that matters. Sean says, I still make up stories when playing games like Farm Sim and Gold Rush. Yeah, like, when we were kids, we did this. Where's Zach at? Dang it. See, this is why I always got to have my visual aids ready to go. And I never know which visual aid I'm going to need, so that's why I screw this up all the time. Ah, there it is. All right, so when we were kids, so my man Zach, my fellow Spartan, sent me this from one of his trade shows that he works at. These little Lego Spartans. So when we were kids, we played with this stuff. And we just, hey, evil, let's get somebody evil, right? Hey, evil giant Bob Ross, I came to kill you. Shit, my afro's bigger than you, motherfucker. I'm gonna eat you and your whole family. This is a story. This is how we played. Video games replace this. I mean, my kids still play with action figures to a degree. Video games. Now, the video games tell the story for you. They require none of your imagination. They just let you check out. And then they get fucking Game of the Year awards for making a decent movie that didn't suck for 40 hours. Like, I don't get gamers. Honestly, I think the games industry was taken over by fucking English majors and journalists. And that's why it sucks now. Because people who actually like games left, because now all the artsy-fartsy people that want to establish gaming as a fucking art, I don't give a fuck if gaming is art. Is the game fun? I don't give a fuck if Madden is art. Let nerds and elitists argue about dumb shit. I'm trying to build Earth. Is Madden fun? Good, play it. I don't give a fuck if it's art. I don't need to prove to anybody that Madden is great. There's a billion people playing it. Fuck all the art people who think it's not art. They can eat all the dicks. All the Madden dicks. Eat all the dicks of the people that made Madden. There you go. Problem solved. You know, like, I don't get it. Why do you need to be told a goddamn bedtime story to enjoy your games? All these lazy brain people. Zach says, thanks, B, for the advice. The guy is great, so having this outline will only make our business. Yeah, and just don't be afraid to ask him questions. You'll find veterans were a little bit more forthright than other people. We're a little bit more socially intimate than other people because we've worked in places where we knew we were probably going to die, so we get closer faster with people because we don't have trust issues. Like, civilians have trust issues. That was one of the things I noticed. They're slower to trust and slower to befriend you. They'll sit around and talk about the fucking weather. Whereas, like, a killer, when a killer meets a killer, we're best friends and eating lunch within an hour. Because we know we're dying. And we're not going to waste time with, what's your favorite color? Oh, really? I like the episode of Game of Thrones. We'll say shit like, why are you here on this earth? What are you up to? Why? Why are you here? Because people like us have an answer to that. And we only like being around people who are like us. If you don't have an answer to why you're on Earth, come back when you have one. Or stick around, we'll help you make one. But if your purpose is not to have one, go enjoy the 9 million other shows that will just entertain you to death. And not demand that you actually give something back to Earth for having been here. We're not going to do that shit here. And if that means only 600 people ever watch this show live instead of 40,000, good. The 40,000s are the ones missing out, not y'all. Oh yeah. You can tell I have a little disdain for the way media works and how it's used to manipulate people into dumb shit. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, and Ryan had some really good advice there too, Zach. I hope you caught what Ryan typed there. It was a really good point. But yeah, like, don't say things like, hey, you called me sir. Does that mean you have PTSD? Like, I got asked stupid shit like that. Like, get the fuck away from me. Read a blog and come back when you have time to treat me like a human. Like, fuck out of here with your intentional ignorance about this situation. You're just, like, willfully dumb. You could have looked that shit up. Like, ugh. Sorry, I need to be more empathetic with mentally lazy people. They exhaust the fuck out of me. Oh, yeah. Alright, so it looks like most people worked out today, so that's good. The main focus today is just making sure you guys are healthy and in a good space. Everybody's okay mentally, physically, for the most part? You guys doing alright? That's the last question I'm going to ask before I get up out of here. Does anybody need anything? I know Zach got his question in. Looks like we got some help for Zach, which is always pleasant when you guys have challenges that we can help you with. We're always happy to do that, so... I don't know how I would be a good contributor for that. I wouldn't have been able to observe their performance. How am I going to vote on how well they perform? Okay, it's better than nothing. These people do need to be recognized. I get it. Hey, I have a new TikTok manager. I think it's the lady who was originally managing me in the beginning, who I loved working with. Awesome. Cool. Hey, Nicole. If it's you, nice to have you back. Ooh! I should be getting something in the mail today for our Tonight show. Yes. Yes, I won't say that. Save that for the later show. In fact, why is it not already? Oh, I hope it's not one of those things where it comes tomorrow instead of today. That would suck. Sean says, yes, sir, I'm good. I'm always if you need anything, brother. Yeah, man, no worries. We're good to go. We are good to go. Zach says, I gotta go. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, me too. I gotta get up out of here. Cool. Well, thanks for being here, gang. We'll be back tonight. We should be. Yeah, I don't think I have anything scheduled that's gonna interfere with a 9 o'clock broadcast tonight. I'm thinking I may actually. There's a chance we might go earlier tonight. Just bear that in mind. We might pull a. It'll depend on how things work out with my kids tonight and how we do dinner. And usually it's my job to make sure they get fed and get them in the bed. So how that shakes out will determine that is usually what determines what time I come on the show. Is sometimes I'm up late doing dad stuff. But I think tonight we shouldn't have any issues, and I don't have anything scheduled. So we might have an 8 o'clock show tonight instead of a 9 o'clock. And I am experimenting. Understand that a show like this is totally experimental. There is planning that goes into it. Yes, a lot of research and a lot of planning goes into the things that I say. But as far as like the structure of the show and the logistics of the show, that is all experimental and based upon the feedback analysis we do with how people view it and how people engage with it while it's live and after the fact. Like one of the things I'm experimenting with, I'm thinking about doing is having the live shows only be available while they're live, and then you can't access them after the fact. So it gives people an incentive. You actually need to be here for this because you're missing out. Because very few people watch it after the fact. Right? Because there's just not as much value in a 3-hour show that you're not watching live. Now, I disagree with that statement because that's not true in my life. I watched Mark Busler talk for 5 hours about his YouTube experience, and that was worth every penny I spent on that little piece of entertainment to hear his 3-hour rant about his YouTube experience. It was like, all right, hang in there, Mark. It's tough sledding. Hang in there, brother. You're gonna make it. So I know I'm one of those weirdos who would watch a 3-hour live stream after it's live, but there's very few of us. But again, like experimenting, like we did. 7 o'clock was our first show time when we first started it, and then I went to 10, and then we tried 9, and we've tried 8. I'm thinking of trying. The challenge with 8 is that's like right in the sweet spot of me working with my kids, but some nights it goes faster. I've thought about moving it to 10. I don't know. We'll keep playing with it. I've also thrown in doing daytime shows because I want to be respectful too. There are a number of people overseas who are who've told me at least that they get a lot out of these conversations and they'd like to see more of it, but they can't. It's like, dude, I can't be there when you're live streaming. It's 3 o'clock in the morning where I live. Okay. So we'll try to throw in some other times too. So as far as like the theme and the what of the show, a ton of planning and thought goes into that because we want to make sure that you all are having a good show. But the logistics I've left open on purpose to experiment and leave myself flexible to what the market says is the right answer, not what I think is the right answer. So more to follow on that. We'll be back tonight, hopefully with another grab bag item that won't be Two Worlds. My favorite role-playing game of all time, easily. I don't even think it's close. Mostly because this reminded me of playing with action figures when I was a kid, and these action figures level up and get stronger. I didn't need more than that, apparently, because the story wasn't written by fucking Ernest Hemingway. It sucks. Oh, I'm sorry, the frame rate's also too slow. Ryan's still doing, or Clem's still doing sets on his bands. That's funny. Speaking of which, who here, and this is my last question and I'm leaving, who here watches the live streams after they're live? And please say no if the answer is no. I need to know. That's really good feedback. The audience. So yes or no in the audience. Do you watch the live streams after they're live? Yes or no? You don't have to say sometimes. Sometimes is a yes. I don't need you to watch it all the time. Do you ever watch the live streams after they're live? Yes or no? And I'm going to check on the 52 book challenge while that's happening. Who's going to be the first one to do their review of H factor or personality? I noticed none of the reviews. You guys were faster with turning pro and managing oneself. Is H factor making you chew a little harder? Stash says yes. Okay. I assume most of you did not watch the streams after they were live. True Pure Blue. What's up, True Pure Blue? Welcome to the show. I don't think we've had the pleasure of engaging, and if we have, forgive me for not remembering. I hope you'll come back. Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Wrong button. Wrong button. Shut it down. Shut it down. We're about to make the audience... Hang in there, audience. I'm going to try not to make you deaf. That was weird. Oh, and by the way, our show tonight is going to be about some of the things you're going to see structure-wise in the show, some of this research. Our show tonight is going to deal with this week's book, and it's going to teach you. In fact, I will tease tonight's show. I just have to remember which one we're doing, because we had actually two potential shows to do tonight. I'll leave it to you guys. Would you rather me do the discussion on... Where is it? Actually, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you want to do the talk on the 6 personality factors that define you? AKA page 17 of our reading assignment this week. Or would you rather talk about why geniuses suck at jobs? Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Clem says, H factor, you saw more of an understanding of the hexacode test. Yeah. A lot of the research that this book talks about is what informed that test, obviously. True Pure Blue says, hello, hello. All right, cool. I love you guys. I'm out of here. I got to get on a call. I'll see you tonight at 9 or earlier. Peace.